We're joined by Jaguars reporter Kainani Stevens. Kainani, it's nice to meet you. Jaguars are off to 3-1 start. How about that, huh? What are your impressions of the early season?
Hey, Jonah, thank you for having me. It's about as good of a start as you can ask for. There was a lot of offseason changes here in Jacksonville. New front office moves. We have a new GM, new head coach, obviously Liam Coen, and a lot of new players. They added a ton of people in free agency, made a big draft day trade up to get Travis Hunter to play him on both sides of the football. So tons of changes. You never really know what it's going to look like going into practice, but they've been very fortunate. They're 3-1, and they're probably what most Jags fans would say one penalty, one DPI call away from being 4-0. So it's a good thing, and it's very exciting here in Jacksonville.
First impressions of Liam Cohen when you saw him for the first time.
So there was a bit of a weird hiring process, right? So they originally weren't going to retain the head coach, but they were going to retain the general manager. Then they ended up kind of clearing house and hiring a new general manager and a new head coach. Liam Coen, coming from the Rams system, he worked under Sean McVay. Last year, he was in Tampa Bay as their offensive coordinator. So going into this, we all expected them to go offensive minded just because they needed someone to work with quarterback Trevor Lawrence. And I think we were all excited to see what the offense was going to look like. But so far, it's actually been the run game that was Liam Cohen's calling card. And he said that in his first press conference. We got to establish the run if we want to do anything else. And they're among the top five in the league already with rush yards per game. And Travis Etienne has seen a bit of a renaissance. We're also seeing rookie Bashal Tootin coming out. He's the fastest at the combine and he's very speedy on the field. So overall, a lot of it's been running game so far, but we're looking forward to the pass game developing as well.
Did it surprise you when the Jaguars traded away Tank Bigsby?
Not totally. So they drafted two running backs actually. They drafted Tootin and then also LaQuint Allen in the later rounds. So because they had four guys that they really felt comfortable with in that position group, Travis Etienne's in a contract year. He's kind of at the end of the line, but he's bought into this new system. More than any other person that I've seen on this roster that was here before previously. He's also a real threat in the pass game. So when they saw that buy-in, they really just wanted to put all their eggs in that basket for this season, but also develop some of the younger players too. And at a certain point, there's only so many carries to go around. So that became a person they could get something for if they wanted to trade. And James Gladstone, the new GM, is certainly not afraid to make a trade.
Were you in that room for the Liam Cohen opening press conference when he did that I guess now famous DUVAL? You were in the room when that happened?
I will
What was
say,
the room like?
I
Yeah.
will say because I'm coming in, so I've been in Jacksonville a couple years now. I came from New England originally, and I'm aware of the Duval. But the thing that is tricky, you cannot do a Duval in the middle of a sentence. It will always end poorly, I promise. And I feel really do. I really feel that was the downfall of the problem because you can't mid Duval sentence. You got to go full Duval at the end. And so I think he's very aware of that. It's very funny now at this point, especially now that we're 3-1.
That was his mistake. He sandwiched in a Duval when he should
Mhm.
have either led or closed with the Duval.
Yes, because that's where the inflection comes in the Duval, but it should really be Duval, and you got to do that at the end, a little more bass.
See, you nailed it. So
It's a learned skill, I promise. I did
well,
not get it at first, and I learned.
well, clearly, yeah. Has he done better since?
Oh
Have you
yeah.
heard him
I
do
mean,
better?
the players love him. He's younger, he's 39, the GM's 34, I believe. So obviously in general, they just can relate more to their players. And to be honest, that whole process feels like a very long time ago. I think someone did a side by side on Twitter that I saw recently was like Liam Cohen at his press conference, Liam Cohen now after being in Duval County for whatever 6 months he's been. But I think he's always been that way. It's just there's a lot that goes into that first rollout and kind of press conferences and whatnot. He's about as honest as a coach as I have ever met, very upfront, tells it like it is. And I think the players appreciate he's just very authentic. He is who he is. Like when you see him jumping up and down on the sidelines or yapping at Robert Sala after a game, defending his players. He's very fiery, and the players appreciate that.
He's got aura. He's got swag.
A
I
little
saw
bit.
that side by side that you're referencing. Um, how are the players responding to not just Liam, but the entire coaching staff? What's the atmosphere in the locker room? and especially getting off to a 3-1 start. I mean, it's got to be as exciting as it's been in that locker room in years.
Yeah, and I think the big tone of change is you can talk about culture a lot, but it really is the people and the players that you have around, right? And I think a lot of what has gone on in Jacksonville in the past is when one thing goes wrong, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop and you're just like, "Oh, there's a turnover. Now we're going to like fall apart." There's not much of that anymore. There's still been some turnovers, but A, the defense has been playing well, so they get the ball right back. And B, there's just a sense of, okay, we're just going to roll with it. It's not the end of the game. Things are not going to go perfectly, but we can still win. And finding a way to win when maybe their offense isn't even fully clicking at this point, just because the defense is playing so well, they feel very confident that when they do get that moving, it's going to look even better.
And that's a good point because, there's so much excitement about how Brian Thomas could take a leap, right? And they bring in Travis Hunter. And while there's an emphasis on the run game, you have pieces in the passing game that you could put up against some of the best in the league if they're healthy and they're playing at their best. And they haven't even developed. We haven't even seen the best of them. So how high can this team climb, you think?
There's tons of opportunity there. Obviously, this is a new system for Trevor Lawrence as well on offense. Have to remember this is his third head coach, so third offensive system in his 5 NFL seasons. So he's still learning as that goes along. And then, Travis Hunter's a rookie. He's learning that. Brian Thomas Jr. learning this. I think what is promising for me is they've been as successful as they've been on defense when we expected it to be the offense kind of leading the charge. And for the run game to be established as well as they have early, that will eventually open things up in the pass game. It just has to. And they've had some issues with drops. They've had some issues with miscommunication. And those are all stuff that they can fix, right? That's their own problem. That's not someone doing that to them. So if they can clean that up and be a little better with penalties and drops and kind of being on the same page with their quarterback, their sky's the limit for them.
What was the whole Liam Coen, Robert Saleh thing about? Do you know?
So I think there was some miscommunication. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the press conference clips for that. I think in terms of communication, they don't talk to each other. So when you see someone else talking about you, that's probably where that comes in. Liam Coen hasn't elaborated on any of that. I think there was always some frustration at the end of a game boils over a little bit, but more than anything, you can always just point to the scoreboard, say you won.
I think part of what excites me about this Jacksonville Jaguars team also, they're not, they haven't played AFC South teams really, and they played the Texans, but the teams are beating apart from the Texans. They beat the Niners, they beat the Panthers, and they're 3-1, and they have yet to play the Titans, who are arguably the worst team in the league. And they still have the Texans to play again. The Colts are looking good, but when you went into this season, did you think the AFC South would shake out the way it looks like it's shaking out?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously the Texans have won the division the past couple of years, so that was always kind of they're the champs until they're not the champs. I think with Indianapolis, the thought was if they have good quarterback play, they're a very talented roster. We've seen that every year. Jonathan Taylor is an amazing running back. Their defense now is looking really great. So they're getting steady quarterback play from Daniel Jones. They're 3-1 as well. So I don't think anybody really predicted that. In terms of the schedule, we do have 4 out of 6 conference games in the four of the last 6 games are conference games. So if you can kind of get through this tough stretch right now, which 49ers, the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, then the Seahawks come to town, and then you got to go to London and play the Rams. So we're kind of in the thick of it right now, but you can come out of that. I don't know, even you got one already, so 2-2 even would be great. I think they'd be happy with that, but you're kind of at a point now where they're still finding themselves as an identity, but this is definitely the tough part of the year.
Oh yeah, this is the meat for sure. But if they can go 2-2 over that stretch and they come out of that 5-3 on the year, yeah, they're in a really good spot. And then you have right after Christmas, you have the Colts, which could be a big playoff implication game, and then you end with the Titans, which
Mhm.
is kind of nice, right? This is a fun part of the year. Let's talk about this Monday Night Football game against the Chiefs.
Sure.
Uh, who would have thought that the Jaguars would have the better record going to this game, right?
I know. Probably not many people. But if you can't get jacked up for Monday Night Football in any time of the year, then you probably shouldn't be around sports at all. Because Monday Night Football, just you hear the music and you get excited. Like, so for the Jags to be 3-1, it's going to be a beautiful October evening. I do not necessarily recommend always day games, a little hot, but this is going to be great if you want to come out and see it. And the Chiefs, I mean, they're one of the premier teams in the league. So if you can catch them, even when now it looks like they're coming back to their normal status after the blowout of the Ravens last week, but they're coming in 2-2. So I'm excited to see what this looks like. Patrick Mahomes always making magic happen with whoever happens to be on the field. So I'm excited to see this and all of it in prime time.
You talked about, you came from New England, but you've now been in Jacksonville for a little while. The Jaguars don't get a lot of primetime games.
They do not.
And and so when they do get primetime games, it's got to be so exciting, not just for the team, but the community, right?
Oh, absolute pandemonium. So when I first came, they don't get prime time very often. If they do, they don't always get it in Jacksonville. So my first season, we had Monday night and Sunday night football, and I cannot. The atmosphere was amazing. It's just it's all decked out. People are out of work already, so they're excited. They go straight tailgating. Some people take the day off and just go tailgate all day. So the atmosphere is there. Jags fans are some of the most dedicated ever. And if you put a good product out there, they are there. They're there even when it's a bad product, to be honest. But the celebration, the joy that they have when the team is good again, and Liam Coen has very much injected that into the fan base right now, especially coming in 3-1. So I'm very excited to see the turnout. I might even come down a little early and see what's going on myself.
Or taking the day off of school or work to attend a football game.
I haven't, but I did date myself a little bit here. When the Red Sox won their first World Series, my school gave us the day off from school because they finally won. So
Oh, which World Series was that?
the original 2004, I was in eighth grade, and they were like, "This never happens, so we're just going to take the day, enjoy it, go ahead."
I like how you called it the original. So
The
you hadn't
OG,
won in 100 years.
100 and some years exactly.
What are you most looking forward to the rest of the season?
I'm just excited to see how this team progresses. For me, the mentality shift is very clear, and just being in the mix gives it a different energy. Obviously, last year they struggled, and it was pretty clear from the get-go that it wasn't going to be a great season. So when you're kind of meandering through the back end of a season with not much to play for, it's just very different. In the NFL, if you're anywhere near 500, you're pretty much in the mix. So seeing this evolve, and I'm excited to see how long the defense can keep this up. They're leading the league in takeaways right now. So they've had 3+ in every single game. So I don't know if that'll continue with Patrick Mahomes because he doesn't like to throw interceptions, but maybe they'll get one or two, and hopefully that'll be the difference.
How excited are you for this Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes battle?
Sure. I think every time it's a quarterback battle, it's always hard because they don't actually play each other. It's just like you're looking at it that way because those are the marquee names that we know. I'm excited. They've played each other a lot, actually. I think every season since Trevor's been in the league, they've had a matchup of some sort in the playoffs a couple of years ago. They went to Kansas City, but it's exciting. It's a big stage, and I think it's a huge opportunity for Trevor Lawrence. He's looked very different from what we've seen in past years. He's in command of this system. He has a lot of options. He has the autonomy to make a lot of play calls and make decisions on the field that maybe he didn't have in past years. So this is a huge opportunity on a primetime stage for him to show where he is and where he's at in the league.
What would you like to see out of Trevor Lawrence? He's in year 5 now. He's been in the league for half a decade,
Mhm.
which is crazy in itself.
Especially because some of the kids coming out of college now are the same age as him
Right. Oh
with
yeah.
all the transfers. So
That right, that's true. What do you want to see out of Trevor Lawrence the rest of the season?
I think just continued progress. A lot of it is getting on the same page with your receivers, whether that's Travis Hunter. And the thing about Liam Cohen's offense is it's very complex. There's a lot of motions. There's a lot of things where they can out or audible out of a play and shift to something else. And there's a lot to keep track of. It's not a simple, hey, we're just doing this one thing. So it's a lot for everybody to learn. And I think Trevor knows what he's supposed to be doing, but also learning where everybody else is supposed to be at any given time. That's part of the quarterback's job. So I think as things go along and they all get more comfortable in this, we're going to see things see some more explosives, I think is what I'm looking forward to seeing, whether that's with the wide receivers or more big run plays. We've seen a lot of big run plays so far, but hopefully getting the wide receivers a little more involved.
Fun game. I'm looking forward to it. Kainani Stevens, do a great job. Thanks for hopping on. Really appreciate it.
Jonah, thanks for having me.